Hey now, thank you for hanging out with us. If you can believe it, it is your old pals Shram and Cash. That's
What?
we're here. We're actually gonna do an episode of Derby Rocks. Thank you, thank you, thank you for hanging out with us. What is going on, Cash Man? How are you?
I'm great. It's been a little bit, but definitely having that much time gives us way more opportunities to talk about things.
Yeah,
It's like,
right. We got a lot to talk about when we space things out.
yeah,
You're not wrong, brother. But
yeah.
hey, it's good to see you. Happy to be back.
Good to see you too.
We are still, in fact, a podcast and sort of quasi radio show when we can get them on. So thank you again for being patient and hanging out with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh man, I feel like there's days where we go like so long sometimes and then we get back into it and I feel like I forget how to do like live radio or even just do the podcast and talk about it where we can like edit stuff out even.
Yeah.
So I feel a little like out of sorts and kind of like a space cadet here, but it's going to be a great show. We've got plenty to talk about, lots to catch up on, lots of events, lots of announcing, lots of skating. Um, we did for the first time in a long time we got to be at an event together. It was just a scrimmage at a new venue. I puked behind the boards. It was awesome. After I put up like 24 points, which was crazy. It was like a really great jam that followed by puking. But no, it was there's so much to talk about. We're definitely going to get to it. But again, I do want to thank you guys for your patience as we you know get to these shows when we can get to them now. I will say it's most likely me between all my jobs and raising this baby. It has been crazy, but Cash, can you believe it? This dude is like 18 months old now.
I know. I know. When I saw him at bowling, it was like, yeek.
He's like walking, talking. He is a
Yeah.
beautiful, big, crazy boy. He said hi, daddy, the other day, and it was the coolest thing that's ever happened in my entire life.
Yeah. That's always it's another barrier broken, It's like it's pretty cool. I remember going through it. It's
Yeah,
like
man.
it's just great when they can actually verbalize what they want instead of screaming.
So he still does a fair amount of screaming. I will say, Jennifer and I are both having a rough day today because dude either didn't sleep enough or slept too much or I don't know what's going on, but he is having one of those days where, and he's not even really doing anything too horrible. He's being a baby, but he's so freaking good all the time that like today is just one of those like bad days where, yeah, he's really just being a baby, but. Um, we're still having a blast. Still all the love over here. It's the coolest thing ever. And he really is an adorable, great baby. So we're blessed. You don't hear us complaining too often.
No, it's an aberration when he has a bad day. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
he's good. Yeah, it was so fun to see him, and it's interesting because I have a couple nieces, a niece and a nephew who are just a little bit younger than Anderson, but they're kind of going through stuff like that now too. They're walking, and then they're scared of Uncle Richard when he comes. I mean, Uncle Cashman when he comes around.
Oh, Uncle Richard.
Yeah. Oh, I got to remember that story. Hold on. I got. I'll tell you. There's one on there. Another one that I
Sure,
forgot to put on
perfect,
my list.
perfect.
Yeah. No. So it's like, yeah, but it's like when we were at, we had a little get together for your annual once around the sun day, and he was in rare mood when I saw him because he must have been like all energized up
Yeah,
because
he was like hopped up on cake or something like that.
yeah, he was ready to go. So and it was great.
Jazzed on pizza and frosting.
When I came in, he saw me a far distance down the hallway of the by the alleys, and he saw me, and he started coming at me.
That's great,
Like,
man. Yeah, I love that. He's a very smart boy. And
yeah,
I don't think of myself as a particularly smart fella. I know a lot of useless nonsense. I know a lot about this and that and so on, but like not great at math, not great at a lot of other things, but like just knowing how smart that this dude is likely going to be just makes me really happy. It's unbelievable to see his brain like work and just watch him process stuff. It's just so freaking cool. And you know, he is a well-loved little boy, and we are very lucky. You know, we're not going to make this the Anderson show because I could sit here and talk about him for the whole hour.
Sure, sure.
But yeah, I just you know, I am often I feel very blessed myself all the time. But just to see how people love and care for him and just enjoy being around him, just makes me so happy and I'm so appreciative. So thank everybody for that.
That
Um, yeah, let's get to our weeks here in a minute or month, really. Let's get to our last month, really. A
yeah,
month and a week. Um, but hey, it is summer. We are going through it. We have, you know, Rochester or Western New York weather where it is, you know, wildly hot one day and it is a crazy rainy mess the next day. So, it is always interesting, but hey, it's a beautiful, you know, Western New York summer. We are lucky in the sense that it's not always just a million degrees like it might be in Florida or California or something like that, you
St.
know?
Louis or Arizona. Yeah, it's one of those.
Sure, yeah. I mean, today was only I mean, it's like what, like 75 today, nothing too crazy.
It was beautiful.
So, you know, nice day. Yeah, we're very lucky here in Western New York for the most part. So, with that, I will say we should talk about all the things that have been going on in our lives.
Okay.
There is no shortage of BS fine.
Yeah, time to
So
catch up, serious. I mean, I mean, I'm interested in hearing yours, and I've got a few things, which is an aberration as well. I said that
we
word.
love that. Yeah. Well, it just goes to show you that it's been too long when you've got, you know, a
Yeah,
list of things that you can talk about.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you want me to dive in, if you want me to dive in, I can dive in head
Yeah,
first.
let's get after it, brother.
So last show we did, the World Cup was just starting, and that kind of like interweaved within the last couple weeks or the first few weeks of July. We had the World Cup going on, which was exciting. I don't know. I mean, I produced a soccer show on the radio for like 18 years every weekend, and so it's like it's not. I wasn't a fan when I started, but the man who was behind it was so interested in getting to me to be interested that he would give me season tickets to the Rhinos and a lot of stuff. So I ended up being, a fan. He would have people in, and I wouldn't understand the spectrum of what big stars they were until I like went and Googled them later, and so there, it was always, so it was really, first class. And I started liking soccer. I mean, I hated playing it when I was a kid. I know that. I mean, anything you got to continuously run through is sucks. But yeah, so I followed a bit of that. Once America was boosted, much like 50% of America, nobody cared anymore. They still
Yeah.
do good numbers, though. I'll give them.
I will say I'm sorry to cut you off, but I am honestly right there with you. Like I don't love soccer really. It's not my thing, but man, the World Cup, whether it's like the presentation or just how excited other people get, I definitely catch myself getting into it.
Yeah, yeah, I did too. And it was like, and it just was fun because the crowds were fun. They were loud. You're in the news constantly about crowds doing like public rowings in
Oh
sub.
shit.
you know, they all sit down and just start pretending to row, and it's like,
Right.
and they
Yeah.
did that in like a Red Sox baseball game, which
Uh,
they took over the crowd. They were like doing all the chants all night and everything. It was really pretty wild. So, and yeah, it was just a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of people, and the funny thing is that I think America came off pretty good the way it worked out. I think that maybe it helped us a little bit worldwide, maybe,
yeah, maybe a little bit.
maybe,
I mean, it's hard to get worse.
yeah. I've heard stories about people who like love our food, and
Yeah.
it's a
They're
big
like,
thing
we
about
love donuts
yeah,
as buns on cheeseburgers,
yeah,
right?
stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, they love
We
coming and
love pizza
eating our
sandwiches.
eating our food and our what I mean, our food's like all over the place. We borrow from everybody, but yeah, so it's like it did it was good while it was going on. That's for sure. And that was like I said, going on for a couple weeks. So, and during that time, I think I went to a concert one night. I saw a band, the Guess Who, and a guy, Don Felder, who used to be the lead guitarist for the Eagles. I went to Syracuse for that. That was a couple weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. The Guess Who, when I was a dumb kid going to college, I had a Guess Who tape because they didn't have CDs back then. They didn't have, you had the radio and you had a tape player. and but it was like the greatest hits, and so we used to listen to one side, flip it over, listen to the other, flip it over, and so that's how. And it's like they played like everything off that greatest hits album, so it was pretty good. It was a good concert. We got upgraded very close to the front, which was awesome too. It was like it only
That is
cost
cool,
like
man. Good.
yeah, it was like it didn't sell that well, so we paid $10 more a ticket, and all of a sudden we're in the ninth row. So it was like a
Yeah.
yeah, I
Heck
like
yeah.
that. I like that a lot. That was a lot of fun. So, but I think the sound mix wasn't as great. That's just my opinion. I think it just kind of was, I don't know, sounded a little bit different when you're that close, and you're not behind those.
Yeah, I mean, certainly when you're up close, there's not much room for the sound to go, so it definitely gets,
Yeah,
a little bit, I don't
yes.
know, muffled, whatever. Yeah, it gets thrown off a bit when you're really close. That's for sure.
Well, then the next thing that popped up on the list was Canandaigua Scrimmage, which was pretty cool. You mentioned that a minute ago. There's this place out in Canandaigua that, much like Genesee Valley, whatever that we called that place where we played in Genesee Valley, during the off season of hockey, they have a big rink and they don't know what to do with it. And they wanted to see if they could draw some people, and it was fun because it was an open scrimmage, open gender scrimmage, and there's people I didn't even know who they were, but they were good skaters. So it
Yeah,
was
to be fair, I didn't know probably like five or six people had never, but I guess they were from like the Ithaca area. They came out for it, which is cool.
yeah. Yeah, so that was cool that I mean it was very off the cuff with everything. I got lucky because I went to NSO and then they had enough NSOs, so the guy who runs the place said, "Well, I do have a PA system." It's like, "Okay, I'll do that. That'd be a lot of fun." And that was fun, and it was and it was fun. It was fun because I hadn't seen anybody in forever either, and it was like Jag and some of the other skaters, and so it was nice catching up. So that was a lot of fun. And then after that, well, I think in numerical order, I went to Brother Weeze is a guy who I used to work with briefly on the radio here in Rochester.
For those that don't know, we'll say he's like a pretty polarizing, moderately controversial. Um, I guess you could consider him a shock jock. I don't know if you'd go that far.
He was. I didn't consider them that the whole time I worked with him, but before that he was
Yeah, I
you could
guess,
get away with
20 years
stuff.
ago,
When you
30
could get
years
away with
ago.
stuff, and then when, then Janet Jackson had her boobies showed on TV, and it ruined everything, man. No, it didn't, but it did change the way we did radio because they got rid of Stern. I mean, off the but nevertheless, Brother Weeze, I worked with him because he came over to work at iHeart, and when I was kind of a free agent, I don't know, it seems like it was forever ago. I mean, I've been
It
almost
was.
I almost been 8 years at this job I'm at now. So, um, but I got to work with him a lot. A lot of the talents who were on 95.1 at the time, who unfortunately it seems like everybody has been fired, and I'm not going to get on it because I don't want to get sued or nothing. But they just don't have.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a radio business issue, and it is certainly, um, it is affecting things in Rochester. We can definitely agree to that. Yes.
Yeah, and then I think they fired everybody because they signed the Buffalo Bills to be on 95.1 now. I think let's save some money. Fire them, fire them, fire them. Okay, sign the Bills. And I don't, they have this tag at the top of the hour, guaranteed human,
Guaranteed human.
but there's no one human on.
Yeah, but
It's
it's all recorded and
yeah,
never live
everybody
anymore.
from someplace else. It's like if you hear of someone talking, they're probably most likely in Chicago, Philadelphia, or Miami. So, one of those places because that's where they tend to. But nevertheless, I got to see him on Friday night. We got to hang out. My buddy Murph, who I hadn't seen in a while either, we went and I got to catch up with some people I used to work with over there that I really liked, and that's why really the reason I went because I know I wasn't going to be able to hang out with Weeze at all because it was the whole date, the whole focus of the
Yeah, it was a big, party for him, and
yeah.
it's not like he was sitting down and spending a ton of time with any one person or
And he's
whatever.
deaf. He's like deaf now. So unless he's holding this little device by you when you're talking to him, he really can't hear. So it's which is unfortunate. That's probably a result of, well, he did have cancer that kind of, I think, was one of the side effects was his losing his hearing, but he also worked in radio for a lot of years and the same issues I have, at times in my one ear, I have a hard time hearing, but so that was fun. We got to hang out and then that was a good weekend because then the next night we got to go bowling at Roseland Bowl there, and that was fun, man. I wish I had gotten there earlier, but that was a lot of fun when I got there, and it was like, it was fun
Well, you
seeing.
just let me know, buddy. We can pretty much bowl for free anytime we want.
I just felt it. Yeah, it was fun to get out there and throw the rock around a little bit, I guess you would say,
Sure. Yeah.
if you're in the biz. And but that, so we got to hang out a little bit, and then it was kind of like a really crazy weather day that day too. It was
Oh man, it really was. Yeah.
like like thunder and lightning and freaking downpours and huge winds and but and so then after that same weekend I got to serve beer at as a fundraiser for Roxy Roller Derby at the where the Red Wings play. I think it's ESL Stadium. I can't remember.
Now it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. I got to do it with people I've never really interacted with before. And that was pretty cool. It was fun. I mean, I'm a ham. I talk to everybody, but it's really interesting is one of the skaters who was there volunteering uh, is friends with my ex-wife and knew her from like 10 years ago and stuff. And it's like, so I didn't know that until I think we were serving beer together. So that was kind of like, kind of wild, I think a little bit. It's like, because it's like, but I don't have a problem with my ex-wife, so that's okay. And then yeah, I don't, so that was fun. We sold beer. We made a ton of money. We made a ton of money. And I guess it was Robert Woolday. Or and I don't if you don't know who he is, he was Arliss on HBO, and he was in the first Batman movie, the Tim Burton one. He was the one. He was a reporter, or no, yeah, was he a reporter? I think he worked in the newspaper or something. And but he was supposed to be there the day before, but he had some sort of flight problems, and then that game, and which was a good thing because he was out there, and so a lot of people came to both games because they wanted to meet him. But that was about the most exciting thing, besides being busy continuously till the seventh inning was done. So that was good. But we did, I was with the people that I've never met before that I was working with. They were all really cool, and they were really good at letting people know when our games were, and also telling them that it was a charitable thing, and because I mean, really, it's a cashless system, so you have to tell them to hit
The tips or
yeah, the
whatever.
tips. Yeah, you have to mention that to them. It's like, and then what exactly this is for. And some people gave a lot when they found out that. So I thought that was really cool. So then after that, I think, I mean, my work week has been great. It's been, summertime work. It's going to get real busy soon, but I do want to say last weekend, Penn Jersey, both their teams came up to Rock City and played a doubleheader in the
Yeah.
dome, and it was a little hot on the weekend. The Devils and the Bee Devils. I want to get them right. I'd hate to, but it was a little hot. And so it started off hot. At least it did rain Saturday night. So by the time we were done, it was raining.
Dude, it's like just raining all the time out here.
Yeah. But Smash Ketchum was up again. Remember I just saw him at Bucksmount. Remember when I went to Bucksmount to call a game there back I think it was in the beginning of June.
Yes.
He was like a head ref or ref there, and he also was roughing here in Rochester. And he's like, he's like, I knew I saw this team before, and so he's like, yeah, because he saw us 4 weeks ago, or I mean, whatever, 6 months ago. No, 6 weeks ago, whatever. But yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk to him much either because it was like we were doing a double. We were doing the arena stream and the stream, and
Right.
yes, there's only two announcers. Elena, the newest announcer, she was doing the arena, and I jumped over and did the stream. And that was a blast. I love doing the stream because I know people can hear it. I'm not saying they can't hear it on the PA system, but It's
Well, you
very
can also just say whatever you want too, because it's not like the skaters are there listening. You're not giving away any position or anything like
oh,
that.
right.
So you can really just, you can call penalties and, and things like that. So
Oh, you should hear me kill time when they're doing the official challenge, the coaches challenge. I no one ever once came over and told me what any of them were, and so it's like I'm watching the clock's like 6 minutes of timeout time. And it's like I'm looking through paperwork. I'm trying to find something to talk about. I talked. I think I did the history of the dome a couple times, and but yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and the B game was second. That was nice. It was the Pride beach party. That's what the theme was, and we had between games we had a couple of drag performers perform, and they were fantastic, man. There's only two this year.
yeah,
Last year there was four, but there was two this year, and it was two of the same ones that came last year too. But they just put on a great show, and it was like the only bad thing is it was just that I had to get the music on my phone, which my phone was running the music for the arena, and and I was also nowhere near it because I was doing the stream, which was like two tables away. And
I gotcha.
yeah, so one last thing. So it was, but nevertheless, I got it. I got it all straightened out before they came out and they did their performances. It was really really cool. One dude did a Benson Boone. Is that his name? Benson Boone, the guy who does
That's
flips and stuff. It's like the
that is
country
his
music.
name.
Is it? Is it? But nevertheless, he was doing one of his songs, and he was doing flips all over the place,
Nice, that's cool.
like that dude does. So,
Yeah.
but the funniest thing, the weirdest thing that happened to me, and it's like maybe this happened to somebody else who's done announcing before, but I kind of like spiffy up a little bit before I come in shorts, t-shirt, set up everything, and then I go and I put on a nice shirt, a tie, a vest, sometimes suit coat, and long pants.
Yeah, I
And
don't know how you do it, man.
so I go to do that, and I do it in the official changing room at the Dome, which happens to be the men's room. And there's a big stall at the end inside that I have a lot of room to do stuff. I must have taken my wallet out of my pocket and I put it by above the toilet paper roll, and I completely forgot about it. So we're into that first game, and there's about 10 minutes left in the game, and I watch our bout production go over to the arena announcer, and they're like they go someone and apparently what it was they go on the mic and they say someone lost a wallet in the bathroom. Their name is Richard L. Jones. And it's like, and I'm like, so I could hear it. I was like I said, two tables away, and I just started laughing my head off. And then and it's like, that's me. Don't you guys don't know my name? It's like, that's a roller derby problem, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Right. You've only been doing this for 10 years now or
They
15
don't.
years almost. And yeah, they're like, oh, if only it had said Cashman on the ID, they would know.
Oh yeah, I would have. So that would have been. But so first of all, I'm a dummy because I left my wallet in the bathroom. I
Well,
I,
yeah.
pra I praise the honesty of people who found it, and not taking. There was no money in it anyways.
I
So
was
I
gonna
mean,
say there probably wasn't any money in there,
no,
so
there's a couple credit cards, but there's no money, and so. But I
yeah,
think
even those credit cards, they weren't gonna get too far.
no,
Let's
probably
be
not.
real.
Probably not. But so that was and that and like I I just found that funny, and that was a bizarre thing that happened, and it was like it made me laugh. But I will say also on Saturday it was probably the one of the sweetest looking sunsets. It was like a big orange ball, and we've had some crazy ones around here yet with all the
Yeah,
smoke we were getting a couple weeks ago, and it was like,
you're not wrong.
but this one was just there was so much rain in the clouds that it did, and everything was red. It was I took a nice picture, and it was really cool. So, but that's about it. There, I've just kind of updated you. Probably took me a long time. Sorry about that.
No, you're great, man. No worries. Like it's been a while, so we're just catching up here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've got a ton myself. So in no particular order. I think you had mentioned the last time we recorded was June 16th or 19th. So it's been some time since then.
Yeah, I think it was the
Um,
16th, but the show was on the 19th, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, all right. So since then we've gone to Pittsburgh. Went and played their B team. The zombies. That was great. It was very important for me to get a win. Um, we last year we took a lot of games. Things happened internally with the team. The games that we took last year kind of ended with us getting our butts kicked in some situations because we didn't have the team that we thought we were going to have and so on. So this year I kind of did the opposite and made the schedule lighter. Played some B teams, did some regulation stuff. Didn't focus on really advancing in the rankings or anything quite like that. All well and good, but Pittsburgh has a ton of people and a strong B team. It was a pretty close game, one of our closer games this year, but we did come out on top. But yeah, it was just really important for me that we still won. Um, Outside of our pretty well annual loss to the Penn Jersey Shenanigans, they are, if I'm not mistaken, the only B team that's beaten us. I'm trying to think if that's true or not. Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to leave too much more dead air, but yeah, I think they're still the only B team that has beaten us. No disrespect to any of the others. We're pretty used to them beating us at this point, just because the Shenanigans are a great high level B team, just based on the number of folks that they always have out in Philly. So, yeah, it was great that we did win. It was a very close game, a lot of fun. Um, Really, really good game. While we were in Pittsburgh, we went and checked out the Children's Museum. That was a very fun place. If you're here locally in Rochester, like the Strong Museum of Play. It was very similar, but it was Pittsburgh-ish. So um, we went specifically because they had like a very hungry caterpillar, Eric Carl exhibit, which was really cool. That was a lot of fun, but they also had a ton of Mr. Rogers stuff because Mr. Rogers is from Pittsburgh. So they actually had the original, like Daniel Tiger and the King and the
King
Queen.
Friday.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Oh, what was
Um,
Queen? King Friday, Queen Saturday? No, Wednesday was the kid. Was their kid. I can't remember now who the queen was.
sure.
I knew
Yeah.
them all.
No, it's like Queen Pennyworth or so. I don't know,
There's
something like
Exie
that.
Owl and Lady Elaine Fairchild and
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
oh,
So, they had like the original puppets there, which was really unbelievable. I'm a huge Mr. Rogers fan, so getting to see that was really, really cool for me. Um, Moving on, of course, we had the 4th of July. We did some 4th of July things. I worked a lot and made a fair amount of money throughout the 4th of July, which was great. But we also made time for some fun. So we went and saw some different fireworks. They had like a really weird, very propaganda-y, a very propaganda-ish type event at the Red Wing Stadium. You were talking about ESL Park or whatever it's
yeah.
called now. They had like a 250 y- anniversary celebration or whatever the case is, which was we really only went because there was fireworks. But yeah, weird time, but it was free, and we love free stuff. Taking this baby to free stuff is like the best.
Oh yeah.
So we went and checked that out. Um, we've also been dealing with like a fair amount of nonsense. Um, Things have been a little bit frustrating in the household. I had transmission issues. We got that fixed. It turns out we didn't get that fixed, and actually, like replacing the transmission oil and changing the tranny pan was a bad combination. Whatever. It didn't actually fix the problem like they thought it would. So not only did I spend like $600 on fixing the van for it to not actually be fixed, we ended up kind of totaling it essentially. So. I owed like 49.50 on the van or something like that, and a transmission swap is $4,900.
Ugh.
So I just couldn't justify doing it. The van was a 2014. It was already, what, 12 years old at this point. I owed 5 grand on it still, then putting another 5 grand into it was just not really reasonable. So we got that all fixed. So now we have a nice new SUV, which is great, whatever. It's a very fine vehicle. I'm pleased with it. The experience and the need to get the vehicle is a big pain in my ass, and I didn't want to go through with it. I don't want the payment that I have and so on. So that part sucks, but we also have a newer, nicer car, maybe hopefully something slightly more reliable, and so on. Um, so as we're dealing with that, I will say we also woke up to a broken hot water tank on the day of my actual birthday, um, because we weren't dealing with enough. But yeah, so we got that replaced too. Luckily, Jennifer's dad knows a fair amount of stuff on like replacing things, contractor work, remodels, stuff like that. He used to like work in maintenance and all types of repair and stuff like that. So he actually, for the most part, was able to help us and kind of walk us through that process. So that's kind of cool. I know how to change a hot water tank now. Uh, Something that not everybody, can say. And I'm not particularly like masculine when it comes to stuff like that. Um, so I think that's kind of cool that I know how to do that now.
Yeah. I
Um,
was gonna say you have like gas seals and stuff, right? It's like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm not that technically. I've replaced two in the last like 15 years, and I just paid someone to do one, and it was like, boy, it was expensive. I probably should learn to do it myself too.
So honestly, like the hard part is just getting like the old one emptied and out of where it's stuck. Um, it's a pain in the ass, but it's not so bad. If I could do it, you could do it. So, um, yeah, but it was helpful to have double N and of course her dad's help, so that was awesome. I will say, through all of the troubles, my 40th birthday did roll around. I appreciate everybody who took the time to celebrate me, whether that was messages or in person or coming to the party, whatever the case is. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's just a ton of stuff. We had the Pride Parade recently, which went really well. We skated in it. It's very cool because this is the one parade where we all kind of get together, and skate in like one particular space. Um, During the parade, this time we ended up getting soaked. Like we finished up, which was great. And then me, Dick, Double N, and the baby stuck around to kind of watch the end and the stuff that was behind us because the baby likes parades and dancing and loud noises and so on. But yeah, we ended up getting downpoured on, like torrential, like tornado warning downpour, wild stuff. The baby was miserable. We had to walk like 2 miles back to the beginning of the parade, past the beginning of the parade to where the car was. So that was just a pain in the butt. Um, yeah, miserable experience. I don't know what the heck else is going on.
They had a whole
Former
festival that got rained out because of
Yeah,
that.
they literally canceled the whole Pride
Yeah.
fest. Yeah, like every year in July we do Pride is in throughout the month of June, but based on how it's been and all the local surroundings, Rochester does their Pride festivities in July. But yeah, it was so bad and the weather was so bad that they straight up just canceled the rest of the day. Um, so yeah, it was
It's the first
pretty.
year that they were charging people to get in too. And they charge a bunch of people and then they're downpoured. And so it's like, oh wow, that's kind of put them in a bad situation because they could have rescheduled it, which they didn't, or make good,
Yeah. I
you know.
mean, they came out and like released a statement on the whole situation and kind of said like, hey, if you can prove that you paid, we'll give you a refund.
Yeah.
Or there was certain situations where they were like, hey, we can't really give everybody refunds if you paid cash. So I know they're going to try and make right, but yeah, it was a bummer of a day because obviously we always have a good time. Pride is a lot of fun. We're big believers in celebrating
Yeah.
diversity and inclusion, and of course, so yeah, sort of a bummer that people weren't able to celebrate the remainder of the day. I was very thankful that we did finish the parade and were able to like take our skates and stuff off before the monsoon came basically. But yeah, it was brutal. Very, very rough day. Um, I don't know, man. What else has been going on?
I don't know. You've been doing a lot of concerts, I'm sure.
Yeah, concerts, working all the time, of course. There's weeks where I literally work like 4 to 5 different jobs in one week. It is really, really tiring.
Yeah.
I'm worn out and I need to slow down. I say that year after year. I hope that I'm going to listen one of these times. But um yeah, I don't know. Things are ultimately pretty good. I've got some work conferences coming up. Um in September, actually, there's two. They're going to send me to New Orleans for one, which will be fun. I've never been. So that'll be kind of cool. And the other one's in Michigan, which is like, meh, whatever. So,
Do you what was I going to ask? Do you have games coming up too, right?
yeah, actually, we do have a month from today, I think it is, August 29th, we're going to play Mohawk Valley in the Albany area. So, for those that don't know, the Mohawk Valley roller derby men's team is getting back getting back on the track and hopefully going to make a team and get back to sanctioned gameplay. So to do that, they need some help, and we're going to get them one of their games to get them back going again. And it'll be exciting. I think um, we have the potential to beat them, and we haven't done that in any games or scrimmages before. So, of course, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it would be nice to end our season on a win against some of our friends and a team that really like we sprouted because of Mohawk Valley or the Quad Fathers. I forget what they used to call themselves. Um, yeah, I don't know.
I think you're right.
I
Quad
forget.
Fathers, yeah.
Yeah, but I forget what else. What else? What did they call them? Was it always Mohawk Valley?
It was Mohawk Valley Roller Derby, was it? I
There
don't
was
know.
a different acronym. There was a different name before when I played for them. But then we spawned the fear off of that with Sky and Dick and Matt Biondic and myself and you and so
Yeah,
if not for the Quad Fathers.
Julio, yeah,
Yeah, Pulio,
yeah,
Rufo, those guys. Well,
yeah,
yeah, Rufo,
no,
Oxen, those guys. Yeah, we all,
yeah.
after like my first year with the Quad Fathers, we all came and played for the Fear. So yeah, it's just crazy how things happen. Um, yeah, so it'll be a great game. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I
It'll
see.
be
I was talking
exciting to
with
get out there.
when I was up at the divisional playoffs up in Canada. I saw Slay up there. I might have mentioned this on the last show, but Slay was telling me all about them getting back together, and I said, "Is Joe playing?" And she said, "No." And it's like,
Yeah, I think I think he's like done. I'm not sure. I don't even know the last time that Joe skated, not to be, funny or disrespectful or anything, but I don't even know if Joe really skates anymore. So,
yeah,
um,
so
it
yeah,
was great to see him involved in some way, shape, or form, and I hope he is. But
yeah, that's what I was
um,
thinking too. It's
yeah,
like,
I haven't seen him in a million years either, so hopefully he'll just be around. That'll be awesome. And we love Mohawk Valley and any of those folks, so it'll be good to get out there and play. So
I
yeah,
told
there's a ton
Slay,
of
you
stuff
got to
going
start.
on.
I said, Slay, you got to start up the tournament again. Now that Mohawk Valley's back, right?
It'd be great. Yeah, we would love to get the Mohawk Valley Cup going again. That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So, yeah, they've had a good couple tournaments up there that were a lot of fun to do every year. So,
You're not wrong. Yeah, and they took great care of the volunteers. I remember there was the whole fridge of like chocolate milk and stuff.
oh
It was
yeah,
amazing.
oh man, yeah. Burn Dairy had something to do with it, so they were the ones
Yeah.
bringing it in every day. So that was cool. Yeah, it's funny as I had I don't know if I can talk about this. Or maybe I can. I post a divisional questionnaire, asking me how I felt about how it went and everything, and I really gave it like all stars because, man, when there's a place where you go where you don't have to worry about being charged for parking. You don't have to, you have food whenever you want it. There's a room full of
Sure.
food that you can go into. They had lots of
Yeah.
little things to give
No,
away.
it's great.
Yeah. So it's like, and that's what, I remember all the good times going to Rome, New York, So I'd love to
Yeah,
do
we
it
were
again.
definitely very lucky.
Yeah, it was always a very cool place. And what's funny is I actually did roller derby for I think a year or two, or did it at least a year. Yeah, Siege too, Siege of Central New York. That was a fun one. Yeah. So I did I did. I never really did tournaments in the beginning because I thought, man, I gotta learn this sport before I'm gonna go and try to do it someplace else. And then,
Well, that's a
but
good thought.
Siege didn't care. They kept asking me like the first year. It's funny. I have this. I don't know if you can see this or not. Uh,
Nice
yeah,
throwback.
the tournament that didn't
Tournament that
happen.
never happened.
Yeah, the tournament that didn't happen. So they mailed the stuff to us. It's like, okay, it's like I think that was pretty cool. But yeah, yeah, it's so I don't know. I wasted probably the first year of roller derby by not doing things like going, and trying other places. I think Cleveland was the very first place I ever announced outside of Rochester and Syracuse too. So or I don't know, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, it's good. It's good they're good back. I'm glad they're back. And I mean
Most
it's
definitely.
yeah, it can makes another team closer too, that's
Yeah,
for
you're not
sure.
wrong. We like that.
Yeah,
Very
that's for
cool.
sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's always a ton going on. We're very busy. Maybe we won't wait, a month before we do another show and we'll keep up. Because I know there's definitely some that I'm missing. There's quite a bit more that we did or might, I don't know. So just bear with us as we'll hopefully get another show going. But before we get out of here, there's a pretty big
Yeah.
event going on this weekend being put on by the Dallas Derby Devils. Really exciting stuff. There's a ton of sponsors. You can go to dallasderbydevils.com. Let's run through at least the MRDA bracket here because I have that pulled up too.
Yep.
But there's going to be some great teams involved. And it starts Friday nice and early at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us what the first couple of games are there,
So
Cam?
we got the first game's going to be Puget Sound Outcasts versus Chicago Bruise Brothers, and the wonderful winner of that gets to go against Denver later that day, later Friday, 6 p.m. So Denver kind of gets a bye, and that's kind of like a first round too. And then we have Yalhalla taking on Pittsburgh Undead. You know, I've watched the Yalhalla team, and they started out. They were really really good last year, and I'm not saying that they took a step back or anything, but they did lose some. They did lose some of the main characters of the team. Some of but they still have solid team. Don't get me wrong. That ought to be a fantastic game against Pittsburgh Undead. They Pittsburgh Undead really did nothing but boost their team in the off season. I guess if there was an off season, there really isn't. But by bringing in as well. I mean, Rad was brought in the year before, but they also have now Senior Wiener and D Ray and just some really solid players from around here. But that's going to be a good game, and the winner of that game gets to go up against Concussion, which I'm guessing is the 2 seed. I think the 1 seed's Denver. I don't know how St. Louis could. Well, I'm not saying that maybe the seed numbers don't matter, but because they don't really say the seeds in the second round. So, but we got some other ones too. Do you want to go and jump on the next one?
Sorry, did you say the 2 p.m. game?
I didn't. That's the one I left
No,
off.
perfect. All right. This is actually one that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah,
We've got the Carolina Wrecking Balls taking on Casco Bay. I think that's going to be a fantastic game. The winner there is going to go on to take on California Roller Derby. Now, the thing about California Roller Derby, that's pretty much just like the California Super Team. There was, a few teams before. Not so much now. It's just like one super California team. So either team, Carolina or Casco. And that is a fun little three-way bracket there, all C teams. We've got Carolina, Casco, and California.
yeah, and I think
Very
doesn't
fun to
Sammy
look
play
look
for
at because I'm not a
California?
go goofball.
There's a few players from
I think
California.
so.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm pretty sure our buddy Sammy does play for California, but will not be there this weekend, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, I saw
They do
that.
have a shoot with their band, Coaches. Go check out Sammy's band, Coaches. I think they're freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, Good stoner rock. But yeah, Casco against Carolina is going to be a great game. I think just the edge is gonna go to Carolina on that one. I think they're just gonna be able to outlast, I'll say. The next game we have Philadelphia, the Hooligans taking on Race City, and the winner of that game has a tough start to their Saturday as they will take on the Gatekeepers in round two. Um, yeah, I think again, I'm just gonna say Race City is probably gonna, outlast that one. I think they'll have, a little bit deeper of a bench, um, and a little bit of an edge there. So I think it's gonna end up being Gatekeepers and Race City on Saturday afternoon.
Wow. That those are some great matchups too, you know. It's like and obviously we've been following the season and the gatekeepers pretty much have beaten every team in this
Yeah.
playoffs. Yeah, pretty much. I
Yep.
think they even played California, I think, and it's like they have wins, you know. So which is, you know, I think maybe they I said it last year that they might or maybe it wasn't last year, but this year for sure. We'll see what happens because when we don't have a championship we're not going to have the Western Hemisphere versus the Eastern Hemisphere or anything, which is a bummer.
Yeah,
But
we won't have champs. I mean, the Western Hemisphere Cup is our own version of champs and on this, half of the world at least. So
yeah, it's a. But we did the Western Hemisphere as well before the very first one, I believe. So, but yeah, so there's those are some solid games with. Who do you feel? I mean, looking at the list of everybody. I mean, and like I said, California's a wild card because they're like an
yeah.
all-star team from the West Coast. You
Yeah.
Um, so it's like, but who do you feel? I mean, and we've seen numbers from them, so it's not like we haven't seen them play this year. That's for sure.
I think it's going to come down to some combination of um the gatekeepers concussion and Denver again, and California might sneak into three. I think ultimately second, third, and fourth place are going to be really, really interesting. I think the gatekeepers are going to come back
Yeah.
and take the cup home again. Um, I think after last year where they came in third place or whatever it was, to go from first for several years to go to third, I think was not exactly what they were looking for. So I think it's like they're going to be back with a vengeance, and I think they're going to take it home this year.
The game that they lost last year in the playoffs to concussion was probably one of the best games of roller derby last year. It
Yeah,
was
it
it
is.
was it was a close game, and it
Yeah,
really came down to who could get the jammers out at the end. You know,
yeah,
I remember that very well. That was an awesome game, and we were. I mean, listen, we have friends on every team. You know, we had someone from concussion on before that, as well as obviously all our friends from the gatekeepers. So, yeah, and so I feel the same way, kind of. I think, Denver and concussion, they kind of been like playing each other a lot. So I have a feeling it's going to come down to them, at least, when it comes down to the final four, and obviously the gatekeepers. And I think California, just because, but you never know who can be there and who can't too. So I did see like all the posted rosters, and. It's interesting that so I love to see any of the those C teams there, but I'm probably going to go with California against the Gatekeepers, and then that's going to make two very very tight games in the quarter or the semifinals.
sure.
You
Yeah,
know, and that's when I'll have the Gatekeepers probably win as well as concussion, I think, and then we'll get a final that I thought that should have been the final of champs. That's what I was thinking it was going to be at least. So, but we will that I think the Gatekeepers they do probably have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder because of their continuous excellence. You know,
yeah.
and I think I mean they want to get back up there. So we'll see what happens. I could be wrong, maybe but concussion had their number. So I
You're
mean,
not wrong.
if it comes down to those two teams in the finals, we all win, we all we definitely all win. So
Most definitely.
yeah, I think that that is fantastic.
You want to talk, do you want to touch on the WFTDA bracket?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely do. I'm gonna have to blow it up for a second. Hold on here so I can see it. The
What's the event called?
It's
The
called Contenders Cup.
Contenders Cup?
It's the D2s. And the D2s are, I have a little special place in my heart for them because I got to announce the D2s when they were in Pittsburgh, and we've talked about it a few times.
Yeah, a time or two.
Yeah, at least. And I was lucky to be there. That's all I can say. So we've
Exactly.
got
No,
the
no
so the
problem.
we've got the D2s and they'll be going at the same time. It looks like they're going to have two tracks going at the same time. I gotta think if they're in the same place. But or because they could be next door to each other. Nevertheless, it starts Friday at noon with Nashville Roller Derby against the
No, it
Sax.
looks like it starts Friday at the graphic. Are you looking at the pink Dallas Derby Devils graphic?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
10
So it's
a.m.
weird.
I'm
Go
sorry.
lower to
Oh,
game
yeah.
one. It says
Yeah,
the
sorry.
time.
They got one at 10. They got one at 10 a.m. I didn't see that. They didn't usually put
Yeah, you would think it would go in some type of order. That's a little bit weird.
okay, so it's River City Roller Derby versus Atlanta Roller Derby. That's the first game Friday. Then the second game I just talked about, Nashville Roller Derby and Assassination City Roller Derby, which is I'm not really familiar with any of them. I mean, I see the scores from them all the time, but then we got Twin Valleys Roller Derby, which I've seen play. Very, very good team. And that's at 2 o'clock playing Fort Myers Roller Derby. Big Easy from New Orleans is there going up against Carolina Roller Derby. Carolina Roller Derby is interesting because I don't think they're that old a team, to be honest with you. They could be, and I'm just not giving them the credit. But I remember my friend lives down outside of Raleigh, and I think that's where they're from. And it's like I asked him, do you ever see any stories about it or anything? And he didn't, but I looked up on I think their Facebook page. But nevertheless, they're playing the Big Easy Roller Derby, and then 6 p.m. Friday night, you got Capital City Crushers versus Texas Roller Girls. That's some history right there in itself. We do have some teams that are getting the buys, so if whoever wins between Nashville and Assassination City is going to be playing No Coast Roller Derby. And that's Saturday at 10 a.m. Oh, there's an 8 a.m. game. Sorry, I jumped it again. Whoever wins the Twin Valley Roller Derby in Fort Myers plays against the winner of Big Easy in Carolina. That's interesting. So they're only getting 3 buys in this. And then so 3 buys and then a game winner third and game winner four are going to play each other. So we
Yeah,
really don't know who that's going to be. Uh,
no.
and then, like I said, at 10 a.m., it's a no coast roller derby versus the winner of Nashville. I said that already, Assassination City. And then we have at 12, Twin City Roller Derby playing the winner of Capital City Crushers in Texas. Oh, I know why the time's all spread out because both tournaments are playing here at the same
Yeah,
time.
it's the same time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So they're
Yeah,
trying to make space. So that's why that's interesting. That's probably why they set the bracket up.
yeah.
This is the D2s. I've only seen the D2s that have played Rochester or Rochester has gone to play.
I
And
think I don't know. Sorry to cut you off there. I got excited. I think Atlanta's going to take this one.
yeah, they're a big city. They got a big
Yeah.
team. Yeah.
I mean, just Atlanta's a great team. I think we've also seen their B team in WFTDA postseason, if I'm not mistaken. And maybe even similarly with Nashville. Don't hold me to that, but I think we might have seen them before, so it's potential. Um, and then Discordias, I think, will also be a pretty good team. That's like a borderless team.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that team might have a fair amount of success too.
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, it's tough not to go with the big teams. Like even Texas. Texas is
Yeah.
definitely a solid team in there too. But I like Atlanta. They But yeah, this is up in the air. I will say you have to pay $10 if you want to watch this, or $20, sorry, for the whole weekend of video, I believe, and the MRDA is free. So it's interesting how they're going to like they must have two different. I wonder how this integration between the two leagues, MRDA and WFTDA, how this is happening because I know that they have different staff for both tournaments. You know,
Yeah, I mean the whole thing's pretty fascinating, I will say, or like one group did the staffing for both sets, or if each, league or each blah blah blah, I don't know. So I'm sure it was a ton. This is outside of like a World Cup or um some other events. This is one of the bigger derby events that we've seen in some time. It's a pretty big lift, I would say. It's very exciting.
so I do have to I need to put in a disclaimer. They're on Central Time there, so everything
Oh yeah, everything that we've said is
is an
central
hour
time
early.
in mind. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so yeah, I wanted to throw that out there because I it's like it's, it's an hour away, but yeah, so yeah, but this is going to be a big deal, and this is will I think that this is the first sort of kind of combination between these two groups in a very long time. So it could lead to more, it may not, it may, who knows, but the D2s were something that I loved, or that what they used to do in the olden days. They would have the tournaments in like all the divisional tournaments and stuff, but they would have the best D2 teams from those regions to play each other. And then the D2 teams would go to championship weekend and they would have like the top four D2 teams play each other for, whoever wins the D2 title. So, and then they did the one year I did it, they did the whole D2. That's all it was D2s. And so that was a little bit different than, how they used to do it. And this is like kind of going that way as well. So, but I definitely will have a lot of fond memories of it, but probably won't see too much of it unless they like forget to shut off they sometimes they'll show you the previews, and then if you don't they don't shut it off, it'll just keep going, and it's like we'll see. I know there's a lot of stuff going on this weekend. There's also SummerSlam too,
sure.
that's Saturday and Sunday, as
Yeah.
there's all sorts of things.
Lots of stuff that we're interested in this
Yeah,
weekend, Cashman. Lots
yeah,
of stuff going on. All right, man. Well, hey, it was really good catching up with you.
it was.
We should certainly do this a little bit more so it's not so weird every month, but I don't know. Maybe we'll get on a regular schedule one of these days because I sure do. I love you and I
Yeah,
love talking here and there and
yeah.
I miss doing this. So let's try and get back into it a little bit.
How about this? We'll try. How about August 15th is the next Rock City game. We'll try to do one before then.
That sounds good to
So
me.
that okay, so that is penciled
That's a
in as we
reasonable
say.
goal. Yeah,
Yeah.
reasonable goal.
All right. Well, we must get out
Sounds
of
good.
here
We're going to
then.
go ahead and get out of here. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for playing along. We love you a lot. You're listening to Derby Rocks. We'll catch you next time.